This is Tim from Ascennial. This is our advertising testing log. So if you're running advertising, especially digital advertising, you'll want to use this log because basically it allows you to track all your tests that you do per channel. Now, if you're wondering, how do I track changes to campaigns and stuff? That's normally within the ad platforms. It's called change history. That's not for this. This is for bigger picture stuff. So if you're a founder and you're running your own ads, you can kind of track all your testing per channel. And if you're an agency, you can test across multiple clients, which is really impressive. So you can perhaps put each client, its business type, the tests that are running for it, and any notes you have. So I'm going to run through how to use this log. And ideally, by the end of this video, you're going to feel confident to implement this in your organization. So basically, the way this works is as an agency, I'm going to pretend I'm presenting this to a client. Now, this will work for you as a founder too, to present to your team. So I'm going to create a shareable link. And this is how people view your link. Essentially, this is what they see. They're not able to add anything or say any of the tests, but they can see what it is and see a general description and then a specific description of how that test applied to their brand. So for example, for competitors, we might say the general description is that competitor ads doing David versus Goliath is a great way of getting your brand out there and getting awareness by immediately connecting the dots for the consumer of what your brand represents. So if you're selling plants, you compare yourself to the indoor garden section at Home Depot. Somebody sees your brand against Home Depot and there's a plant, they immediately know what comparisons are being made. They're really effective ads. And then for the specific description, we could say, in this case, I didn't want to reveal the client, but we would say against this competitor, and this competitor. Now, we always structure the week of the test going live to give it some flexibility. And there's 3 test types. So I'm going to back it up and go back to the log. There's 3 test types. There's an audience test, a creative test, or an optimization test. So an audience test would be a new group of people. Maybe you want to go after moms, dads, kids, etc. Now, creatives, of course, speaks for itself. There's images, videos, carousels, etc. Optimizations are kind of these higher leverage areas like, for example, optimizing for add to cart instead of purchase, maybe split testing landing pages, that type of thing. And that really, most tests fall under those 3 categories. So to recap, we have the test name itself under the ad channel. We have the week the test starts. We have the type of test. We have a description of the test, a general description, so it could be the same across every client you use it for. We have a specific description of the test. In other words, how does it apply to that client? And then after it's run, you'll want to give it a rating, an impact score. Now, you're not going to be able to do that until the test is done. So when a test is finished, if it's successful, you're going to continue that test. We call that validated. If it's unsuccessful, we stop the test and we'll put the amount of money in here. So this one, forgot to put the amount of money. This is a mock brand called 7 Figurines, like 7 action figures, also 7 figures. Yeah, I'm so good at the jokes. But basically, that is how it works. You have queued, which means you're getting ready to do this test. Currently testing, which means it's live. Validated and continues means that it was a successful test, and test stopped, it was unsuccessful. It's also really helpful to keep track of how much spend it was before you marked it as successful or unsuccessful. To be fair, normally you'd want to add a little bit more money than that before you stop a test. And then currently testing, we're going to leave this blank and queued because it hasn't run yet. So we don't know the spend impact or results. Now, let's say you want to see, if you want to plan a bunch of queued tests, you can actually have a calendar view and see when those tests, what weeks they'll go live. That's really helpful for project management. And let's say you're having a talk with your team or your client and you want to add a test, you can do that in this tab here and then add an advertising test. So, and let's say you want to add a new client, you can do that here on the clients tab. And basically that will allow you to create views for each one of your clients. So hopefully this video explains why and how this is such an effective form of managing your advertising tests. If you want to add more platforms, you can do so. Right now, you can do that by unhiding the ad channel field and then selecting and customizing it. And you can just keep adding different channels as you see fit. So Again, the only thing that might get a little confusing is which channels are hidden, and that's just which columns are hidden. And then the reason why this looks so pretty is because I have a filter that basically is showing me the test for only my client 7-figure reigns. Hopefully this all makes sense. Let me know. If not, I can always re-record and try another view. But ideally, you'll find this is super helpful and you can download this at the Airtable universe. I also have a Typeform where we can, once a quarter, send you tests that we do that are successful, obviously anonymized for the sake of our clients. And that's about a wrap. If you're looking for any help with your advertising directly, feel free to fill out our contact form on Ascennial.com. And in the meantime, happy testing.